Teaching the proper pronunciation and articulation of the letters of the alphabet are important to the development of sounds, letters, words, sentences, and phrases. Now, we are going to be sharing with you some technique in how you can teach the letters of the alphabet. And these techniques that we'll be sharing with you can be used with any letter of the alphabet. Stay tuned. Thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry Ann Elaine, proud autism mom, and we are here to share with you tips and tricks of how we navigate through our journey right here on Autistic Edge. Today, we will be looking at some strategies and activities that we use to teach the letters of the alphabet. Now, firstly, you want to have a visual discrimination of the letter that you will be teaching. So you want to have a visual display, for example, of the letter L. So let's say we are teaching the letter L. Now I have here with me a nice little jar with some letters of the alphabet, and these are magnetic letters. I like to use these magnetic letters because I can use them on my refrigerator, I can use them on my whiteboard or anything that is magnetic. And they are also good for using on tabletops for forming words. I have in my hand M, even though we talk about the letter L, and I say L because we are working on L with Alex Xavier now because he's having a challenge pronouncing the letter L. So if you hear me mention L from time to time, that's fine, but I'm giving you the technique that can be used or applied with all the letters of the alphabet. Now, secondly, we are going to talk about modeling. Now, modeling, what do I mean? So demonstrate the correct pronunciation or the correct production of the sound of the letter. So you want to do that demonstration so that the child can identify and hear how the sound should be articulated, and you can also use like mirrors so they can see the movement of their lips and their tongue in order to come out with that sound or to articulate it properly. Now, another technique is isolation. When I say isolation, I mean isolate the letter that you are teaching the child, right? Have the individual practice saying the sound of that particular letter. So if we are working on the letter M, especially if it's a child who is in the beginning part of speech therapy where they are just learning the sound of their letters, now isolate the letter. So you're gonna use this letter alone, right? Sound the letter first. Let them hear the sound, right? No other sound. So don't try to say L, P, and we are talking about one letter in this particular session. So you want to isolate that letter, right? Help them to pay attention to the tongue, where it touches the lip. And you notice I say L before, probably I just need to get a L because I'm here talking about L all evening. And that's because, Alex, we are working on the letter L. It seemed like I have the L somewhere else. All right, so I found that letter L, all right? So once the child have mastered the pronunciation of that particular letter, then you can move to syllables. Now, in producing the L sound with different syllables, you can add letters from the vowel to the L. So at this time, you will be doing like a la, le, li, lo, lu, And again, remember, I am practicing the word L, and you can do this with other letters, right? Now, practice each syllable multiple times, emphasizing the correct articulation, right? So, la, le, li, lo, lu, and using the vowels. And I normally teach the vowels separate from the consonant, or sometimes I mix it depending on what I am doing. Now, remember, we are talking about the letter articulation. So if you're not at the level where we are at, you would not want to combine other letters, but we are combining other letters where we are, right? But for now, I'm just giving you the step-by-step approach. So after doing the single sound, then we look at the syllables. So the syllables, la, le, you try to repeat that for quite a few times or a few sessions, because your child probably may not be able to say it at the first session, or if your child is a little bit more advanced and you need just practice in terms of the articulation of that particular letter, then you can go with multiple practice and repetition, of course, with adding the vowels to give some syllables. All right, now then from the syllables we can start looking at words. Now, once the child is now comfortable with the syllables, move on to simple words. So again, I am on the word L. So I can start with things like let, like, love, lunch. Lunch is something they have every day, lunch. And if you're doing animals, you can also say lion. Now, what you can do is you identify words beginning with the letter L, and what you can do from there is allow the child to pronounce these words or say as much of these words that he or she can begins with the letter L. That is good practice for the pronunciation and the articulation. And just remember, each time you are looking at the articulation, so we need to pay attention to the formation of the lip, the tongue, and the jaw, or the entire mouth, right, in the pronunciation of the particular letter. Now, once we move from words, then the next step we can do is phrases. So we can do simple phrases. So say for example, yes, again, we are on the letter L, and this afternoon Alex and I were doing the Larry the lazy lizard, and that's a nice little phrase, Larry the lazy lizard, and it gives some form of a tongue twister when you try to say Larry the lazy lizard, and if you say that too fast, you might just get twisted there. All right, but the next thing, phrase and sentences, gives you good practice. And remember, you are not going to be doing all of this at once. It depends on your child. It depends on the level of your child. You are going to take them in stages. So we are just giving you the technique, the gradual technique that you will use in teaching the letters of the alphabet individually, of course. Remember I said that. All right, then you can do articulation drill. Now you will see in a video I have here where Alex and we were doing an articulation drill on a couple letters of the alphabet, because we have done quite an extensive amount of work on the letters of the alphabet. So you'll see here where we were doing an articulation drill on some of the letters of the alphabet. Create nice little fun drill, tongue twisters that includes the letter that you are talking about. Practice and make it enjoyable, make it fun. And guess what? Don't forget to praise your child. Give them a commendation. Let them feel good about themselves. And even if they attempt, they're not going to get it all at once. But even when they attempt, give them a little high five, a little credit for their attempt. All right? Now, another thing is use visual aids. Now, you can use pictures and objects beginning with the letter L. And again, I'm talking about L because Alex and we are currently working on the letter L for Alex Xavier. But use visual aids. You will see where we did, in this video right here, we did an articulation exercise on some letters of the alphabet, and what we do there is we actually use fruits. So we engage Alex in fruits that he likes to eat, and I would say like is an understatement. He loves, because he really loves his fruits, right? So we use fruits beginning with certain letters, and we allow him to pronounce the fruits and articulate the words while he's preparing his fruit salad. Now, those are just little activities that you can add to it to make it fun and engaging, right? So use visual aids. So you can use objects, you can use pictures, or at least you can use nice little activities around the home. And again, in addition to visual aids, you can also use games. Games are also nice ways. Play a little game of hide and seek, and try to find, you hide certain letters and you try to find the letters, or to find things around the house beginning with the letter, of course. And it depends again on the level that your child at. You know your child, so you're going to work with your child accordingly, right? And games like I Spy, and I Spy is a game that Alex and I love to play, because that's a game we use to help him to identify objects, things, numbers. It's a very universal game that can be used in a lot of activities. So you can even have a number of letters on the board, or hide some letters around the room, and then you can say, okay, Alex, you're gonna find all the L's, you're gonna find all the P's, or whichever letter that you're working with, right? And play some good even board games beginning with letter L's, or trying to identify letter. You can also use flashcards, and all the fancy games, and you can just be creative. There is no one size fit all. You can use some games and put your own spin on it to give to get the same outcome that you desire. And again, give feedback, give reinforcement to your child. Always give a positive feedback. And finally, I would say consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. I will never stop saying practice, practice, practice. It's therapy for a reason, because you'll have to repeat it over and over again, so we can help our child to get the desired result. Regular and consistent practice is crucial in the progress of your child. Encourage your child to practice the sound daily. Reinforce the learning. If you are doing things on a daily basis, then incorporate things around the house. Be realistic. You're making up your bed and you're teaching the letter B on that day, and you do a little articulation on B, a little pronunciation on B, and then you say B is for bed. Alex is a boy, and the boy sleeps on the bed, and add your spin to it. Use activities in your daily lives. I know parents that we are busy, and we always say we don't have the time. But in truth and in fact, once you are engaging your child, even in a simple conversation, that's an opportunity to teach your child something. So if the child is eating today and he's having his vegetable, and we are talking about the letter L, then you know that we can talk about lettuce in the vegetable. So you can have a dinner conversation about lettuce, and there you go. That's a full speech therapy session right there. So these are some techniques that we have here that you can use with just about any letter of the alphabet. Once again, thank you so much for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell that the next time we put out another content, you will be notified.